Hello, America. Dave Hodges here. I'm the host of the Common Sense Show. We are the show that is freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. Thank you so much for joining us. Really good to be with you. And we really hope that you'll start sharing because we're not getting any help in sharing, if you know what I mean. So please share because we're tapping into some sources that are new, combining with our sources that are old. And we've got some amazing stories that we're putting out. And I think our Charlie Kirk stuff is as good or better than what anyone else has done, maybe with the exception of Candace. But right now, Candace is a little bit on hiatus, not entirely, but for understandable reasons. And we're picking up the torch, and we've got a story coming out later today that's going to rock your world. So we're asking for your help to please share. We are brought to you by the products I should say that saved my life, turned my life around, and it's the 3-pack from Magic Dicol. You get 3 liquid sprays, and this is the immune system builder that brought me back from strep lung linings where no, nothing we can do, Dave. That's what modern medicine told me, and that was not ending up being the case. Get 3. You also get the topical gel right here, and you rub this on your joints, and over time it begins to produce pluripotent stem cells. Now, it's not like you take it on Monday and on Tuesday everything is fine. It's a process, and you have to be diligent in the application. But if you are, you'll get the benefits I've got, where I've got no restrictions on my knees, where before I'd blow up like a grapefruit when I tried to work out, and I'd have to take 3 or 4 days off. Don't have to do that anymore. It's a benefit. Also, too, there's the wrinkle cream. Also treats cuts and burns, and you've seen me use it for a bad cut that I had. You saw the amazing progress together, the 3-in-1, 15% off the starter pack. Go to iwantmyhealthback.com/Dave Hodges. iwantmyhealthback.com/Dave Hodges. Well, we have to ask a fundamental question yesterday. I revisited a very old topic. It goes back really to the inception of our website, and I was talking about the old New World Order and the new version of the New World Order. And that new version was just blossoming, but not in time to help John McCain win the presidency from Barack Obama in the election of 2008. And I was appearing on talk shows talking about the divergent camps. Now, big tech has entered, and as I covered yesterday, they're fundamentally opposed and stand in opposition in many ways, although they have some joint projects, but they stand largely in opposition to the old money of the world. That's right. And we're talking European banking. And Trump had a decision to make coming in. There's no sitting in the middle. You either go with big tech and the new version of those that want to dominate, or you go to the old version. The new version on the surface is a lot less controlling, not as destructive. They're not into starting wars and making money on that whole process where the old group is. But there's a danger. Big tech, well, people like to see their projects carried out to its fruition. And the fruition for big tech is total AI, 15-minute cities, loss of liberty, scientific management of human units, and that's how they refer to us, human units. And they have to bypass our constitutional protections to do so. They've already managed to do it with the privacy issue. This is just the first run. They got the digital ID in, which is totally unconstitutional. It's totally unconstitutional for the federal government to tell the states you must have a ID and it has to have these uniformities in it across the country. That is illegal under the 10th Amendment. And no one's challenging it. That's what's just amazing. And this is just basic civics, basic American government, what you learned in 12th grade. And I'm just dumbfounded that we're not challenging this real ID. It will do nothing to make travel safer. Nothing. They haven't demonstrated one way or one instance where this has been helpful or will be helpful. They just want to ID you and be able to track you. And it's a platform that can be stacked upon. And here's what you need to know. The stacked upon platform, it won't just be, hey, my address, where I live, my phone number, do I have a criminal history? Now we start piling on medical information, personal hobbies and interests, so we can market the living hell out of you. And they go on and add and add and add, and eventually you get into a naughty or nice list. We know the NSA has maintained one of those for decades. We know a little bit about it, but we don't know the details. You go, how do you know about it, Dave? Well, Vance Davis, former NSA, frequent guest on my show, good friend. We've been friends for over 30 years. But we don't have a lot of data on that program. But that data may be becoming a dinosaur because of what's coming on the Real ID. And this is the product of big tech. And they have to have all this in line so they can control you with social credit, violate your rights, violate your freedom of movement, violate your freedom of choices on what you eat, where you live, how many kids you can have. I mean, these are all things that are in the big tech literature. Now you're saying, well, Dave, where does the World Economic Forum come into all this? Very simple. They play both sides against the middle. They cater to the old money, okay, but they also cater to big tech. Freedom is an illusion to these people. You are a biological unit to be managed the same as AI. That's how you are viewed. It is a total dehumanization of the planet's population. You're not, you don't matter. Your desires, your hopes, your spirituality. In fact, that actually might get in the way. What did the World Economic Forum put out a few years ago? They were going to have AI rewrite the Bible. I just got three words for those people: Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't think mocking God is the right business to be in, but they seem to have no holds barred. Does big tech embrace this? You can find people who do individually. As a movement, they don't. But what is a movement, what they support is total AI control. Total AI control. And I'll tell you who was ahead of the curve on all this. And I used to interview him a lot on this topic, and it was Patrick Wood on the topic of, before he really got into what he called technocracy, connecting the smart grids. And people laughed at us when we said they're interconnecting the grids between various metropolitan areas. And eventually they have plans and are laying the foundation to interconnect our grid with Europe. This is why when the Europeans are doing these crazy things with banking, like almost making savings illegal and certainly subject to confiscation by certain rules that are thinly veiled, we own you. I said, this is something we need to worry about because we're intertwined with their system. And a system is holistic, and that system just can't exist in Europe and then it's a vacuum here. It's part of the same system. Bank of International Settlements, central banks for each country. And that's the hierarchy. Well, big tech is really upsetting this right now. In fact, actually, in their future, no banks will exist. Oh, everything will be digitized. No need for a bank. Controlling AI at the heart of it with built-in algorithms to punish you for bad behavior. And you're saying, well, Dave, isn't that kind of science fiction? If you've taken a look at China, this is where this was experimented with. This is where it was rolled out. Now, here's the fundamental question. In Trump's first term, he sued big tech firms, including Facebook. In this, his second term, he hosts dinners for them at the White House and praises their intelligence, and they are gushing in their thanks and praise in return of Donald Trump. Now, if I had to choose between the two bad choices, big tech dominance, old money dominance, I'd choose the big tech. But both carry a big cost. The cost with the old money, that's already known. They have centuries of exposing who they really are. The big tech, we're not sure how far they'll go. Wait till you hear a later segment we're going to do about Elon Musk warning about all this. What he says is chilling, and we'll get into that in a later segment. Now, here's the fundamental question. Has Donald Trump captured big tech, or has big tech captured Donald Trump? He's clearly going against European banking interests. Europe wants a war with Russia. Trump isn't going to let him have it. And as the dominant member of NATO, we have a lot of say on how that progresses. And right now, we're not cooperating with their warlike mongering ways. They want that war. Why? Natural resources. That's why. Why do countries do anything? In fact, actually, that will lead us into today to a real discussion, honest discussion of Venezuela. No, they don't sell that many opioids in America, if any. And we'll get into that in a later segment because everything spins off of this conflict between the two groups. The one thing that's scary, and the one thing that's very scary to me, is if one side begins to lose, will they go the Samson option? And if I can't have it, no one will, and we have total destruction. We used to talk in the 70s about doomsday weapons. If you're going to lose, blow it all up. And it was validated. I mean, even people like Daniel Ellsberg, Pentagon Papers, he actually talked about this. And it is an option within nuclear community-based nations. So, is Trump in charge, or is big tech in charge? Or is Trump using big tech to establish dominance? Well, I think we have a partial answer to that if we look into a guy named Russ Vogt. We're going to do that in the next segment. I'm Dave Hodges. This is The Common Sense Show, and we'll see you back here again next time.